Um, so this video is about, just kind of catching everybody up on how I'm coping with the death of my father. And so I just wanted to just bring everybody up to speed on everything. So my dad, for some of you who don't know, who don't follow me on Facebook or whatever the case, you haven't heard from me in a while, and the reason being is because my dad passed the day after Thanksgiving, and um, it was unexpected. Um, he was doing like dialysis, but he was doing it for like the last 10 years, as far as I knew, probably longer, and you know, and so I didn't know exactly what was going on with him before he died. Um, but so he died the day after Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving Day I talked to him twice. I talked to him on my way to Minneapolis, where my mom and stepdad and other family members stay at, where they was doing Thanksgiving at, and um, you know, and it was a good conversation. We were talking and laughing, like we always do. And I was on my way to Minnesota, so I mean, and I called him just to tell him Happy Thanksgiving and stuff like that, and to see what he was doing, what he's planning on doing. And he told me he was going to my cousin's house, and and they was all gonna do whatever. And so I was like, cool. We hung up, and later that day, later on Thanksgiving, I so I'm vegan and nobody else in my family is. So, they didn't cook anything for me. Only time, sometimes I'll cook something for Thanksgiving, to just be alone, but I didn't cook this Thanksgiving. And so I had one of my homegirls, a sister in Christ. She was going to some friends, and they was cooking all vegan stuff, and she said that she'll get me a plate and stuff like that. So I ended up going over there just to grab a plate, and it was some good stuff, man. They had some real good food, like vegan mac and cheese, vegan greens, vegan dressing, vegan turkey, and it was all so good, seasoned right to perfection. Uh, it was delicious. It was delicious. Um, but anyway, so I on my way to pick the plate up from her, and then after that, I was going to look at a house, not a house, but I was going to look at um, a friend of mine's basement, because he wanted me to install um, a water system in there, water softener and carbon filter and that sort of thing. So it's basically a whole house system in this basement. And I used to dabbled with that for some years, working for a water company. And so I went over there to check it out, and on my way there, my dad called me. So he called, and it was probably like 7 o'clock at night, I think. And he called me, and it was real loud in the background. He was at my cousin's house, and there was this thing that my dad used to do. He he used to um, call people out of the blue, you know, and then he'll tell everybody who's there. Like he'd be like, "Oh yeah, Lil Dean here for," and that's what a lot of my family members call me, Lil Dean, because he went by Big Dean or Dean, which a lot of everybody else call me now is Dean, because I'm grown. And anyway, so I go by Dean unless I'm around my family, which everybody calls me Lil Dean or Lil Dean or something like that. And so my dad would say something like, you know, Lil Dean's here, and then he'll tell me who he's on the phone with, and I say, oh, tell him I said hi. Not that I want to talk to them. I don't want to talk to them. I just want just tell them I said hi, and he'd be like, yeah, Lil Dean said hi, And he'd be like, here we go right here. And then he'll give me the phone and I'll be like, just sitting there looking at my dad, like, and he's done this all my life. So as long as I can remember, me and my brother, like we would joke about it so much because it would be like the most annoying thing. Like I never asked to talk to this person. And I believe that he did it to some of my cousins too, his nieces and nephews and stuff like that. And at first I thought it was just us, like especially like me and my brother, till I saw him do it to my uncles. He done it to a couple of my uncles before, and I got to see that, and I was like, oh, so he does it to everybody. And I see their faces and and how they just looked at him and just like like I didn't I didn't I didn't ask to talk to this person, you know. I didn't even ask to talk to him, or her or whatever the case. He just put him on the phone and it was just a little annoying thing that my dad did, and I think that he got a kick out of it. I think that he just cracked up to himself, man, because he just be sitting there quiet and just and you just be sitting on the phone looking at him like I didn't even ask to talk to this person. But anyway, you know he called me later that night. He called me around 7, and he was just like, my cousin Wayne wanted to talk to me. I said, Wayne? He's like, yeah, no, he said Wayne was asking about you earlier. I was like, oh yeah, tell him. I said, what's up? He was like, oh, here we go, here we go. I was like, oh shoot. So he did the same thing. And it was so loud in the background, like it was hard for me to hear. And my cousin got on the phone, and I'm pretty sure my cousin didn't know my dad was calling me. So you have to be careful who you would ask about my dad about, because he'll just call you. He'll just call him. He'll be like, yeah, they was asking about you. And you're like, yeah, I was asking about him. I didn't say call him. I didn't want to talk to him. That was one thing about my dad. Like, if you're gonna ask about somebody, he gonna make sure you talk to him. But yeah, I think that was his way of getting on people's nerves a little bit, because like I said, I saw him do it to my uncles, and my uncles just was just looking at him like, why did you do this? And I think I don't know, somewhere in the back of my head that was his last joke to me to do that, and I didn't even catch on. I didn't even catch on. I didn't catch on until later. Um, Whereas my cousin got on the phone and we just kind of chopped it up a little bit. And he told me that he'll get my phone from my phone number from my dad, and we'll be in touch or whatever the case. And I was like, cool. And so I just hung up. I hung up the phone right there, and then my dad called me right back, and he was just like, hey. I'm like, hey, Dad. He was like, yeah, I was just calling to say hi. And, Wayne was asking about you. I said, okay. I was like, yeah, you're supposed to give him my number. And he was like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. And then we hung up. We said bye and we hung up. And that was the last time that I heard my dad's voice. It was the last time I heard his voice. The crazy thing is that thought even came through my mind. It did. The thought came to my mind that, you know, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. One of my good friends, his mother passed some time ago, probably like 20 years ago. Let's see, 2020, 23, 13, 03. Shoot, it was longer than that. Um, so yeah, it was a minute ago that his mom passed, like probably 25 years ago, almost 30 years ago. And I remember him telling me about the last time that he talked to her. And he said he was out of town, and you know, he, she wanted to talk to him, but he kept on like rushing her off the phone. And he just felt so bad because he just wished that he had that chance to talk to her again and just stay on the phone with her again. And I felt that. And for some reason, that thought came to my mind. And I think maybe it was because he called me back. Maybe. I don't know. But the thought came to my mind that this could be the last time I talk to my dad. And I don't know why. I don't know why I did. But I prayed right then and there. Because remember, again, I told you, I couldn't hear him. I couldn't hear, I could barely understand anything because it was so loud in the background at my cousin's house. And so I was like pressing the phone up to my ear while I'm talking to him, just like real hard so I can, so I can hear him, you know, because I had my earbuds in at first, but like it seemed like very distorted. So I had to just put it on speakerphone and just put it like this so that I can, I don't know, hear him better. Um, and so otherwise I wouldn't have minded being on the phone with him. So I don't necessarily have that regret because I knew that I don't think that my dad would have got up and went outside or anything like that because I mean, even though he was in Memphis and it was a lot nicer there than it was in Minnesota, where I was, I don't think he would have did all that. You know what I mean? And so, and I don't think it was, it was noisy on his end, but he could hear me, but I couldn't necessarily hear him. So I don't necessarily have the regret of just staying because I didn't rush him off the phone. You know, I didn't stay on the phone, but I didn't rush him off the phone. You know, but I remember having that prayer and saying, God, please don't let this be the last time I talk to my dad. And I love him so much. I remember saying that prayer. I remember saying that prayer. Like, please don't let this be the last time I talk to him. I don't know why I had that feeling, but but yeah. Um, the next morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. No, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. The next morning, my niece called me and she was crying hysterically. And I was just like, why are you crying? You need to stop crying. Why are you crying? No, why are you crying? Seriously, stop. Why are you crying? She's trying to tell me, she's like, Uncle Dean. And she was like, I got bad news. I was like, no, you're not about to tell me this. You're not about to tell you. There's no way you're about to tell me this. I'm in such disbelief while she's trying to tell me that my dad is dead. And I'm like, no, 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 no. And I cried so hard all that day. Hmm. I cried so hard all that day, so hard. I was in disbelief, and I didn't want to believe it. I couldn't believe it. But it was true. So we went down to Memphis a couple of days later, take care of his affairs and everything. And my brother and my cousin drove us down there. Yeah, it was quite the ride, and and even when we got down there, it was just so much tension because my little brother had a whole different way of grieving, and I respected it, but it was hard. It was hard on all of us, but we got through it all. We got through the funeral, and I mean, uh, I stayed so busy that I didn't get much sleep, and I was just, you know, it was like the whole time I was living in this surreal time and world, and and it got to all of us in one way or another. You know, um, I reunited with my brother, who I haven't spoken to in years, and that was cool. We talk now. My other siblings was there. Well, my big sister wasn't able to make it. My little sister, she came down for a week or so to help to get to gather his affairs and all that kind of stuff. And so we, you know, it was definitely a time of mourning, and I honestly didn't really get to mourn much at all because I was so focused on just trying to get things done. So, and it kind of basically all fell on me, and but I'm so thankful to my siblings who were so gracious. You know, um, yeah. But so um, how I've been coping. Okay, well, first off, as soon as I got back, I had to go back out again to to do ministry in a sense, do outreach in Phoenix, Arizona. So I went down there, and I was down there for a couple of weeks, and shoot, basically you say like 3 weeks because we drove down there, and the time that it took to drive down there and drive back. Yeah, so basically we were gone for 3 weeks, for 3 more weeks, you know. And so I really didn't. Man, I got back and everything was just in disarray, and I'm just trying to get things back into. And and still, I really didn't get a chance to mourn, you know. And but when I did, it hit me hard. It hit me real hard, and you know, I needed it. I needed it, and it's still hard at times. I think about him, and you know, sometimes just a memory come up, and I be listening to some type of. There's a song that I listen to on my playlist that's regularly, and it just talks about heaven, seeing people in heaven, and it's so. I want to play it, but I don't know if I can because it's I haven't gotten permission from the from the artist. I tried to because for my other videos because I'm a fan of their music. Um, they're called Jehovah Shiloh acapella, and great acapella group, man. And this song that they play is so beautiful, and it's called like it's called "I'll Meet You in the Morning" or something like that, and it just talks about meeting your loved ones in heaven, and he talk about you'll recognize me by my smile, and my dad's smile comes to my mind every time I think about it, and every time I hear the song. and how he used to just smile at me when he see me. And it's just a beautiful song, and I can't. Sometimes I have my earbuds in. I'll be in the grocery store. I'll be driving. I'll be at work, and that song would come on, and I'll just start crying. I just start crying, and so um, but that's kind of like how I'm coping with it. And I think another thing that brings me comfort, I wear his clothes a lot. What I'm wearing right now, this was his. You know, he has these he has these old beat up shoes that that he had, and I wear them like everywhere I go. I haven't put on any except when I go to church. I haven't put on any other shoes since I've been back. I wear them shoes all the time. I think they're like Walmart shoes too. On top of that, and they're like because he wears size 13. I wear size 11 and a half, and I wear them. And I don't know, maybe I find comfort in that, you know, just wearing his clothes and his shoes. I had a jacket of his. It was black and red leather, and it got left in Phoenix some kind of way, and I don't know how. I got home and I didn't have it, so I don't know what happened with that. That's crazy. My kids, they all wanted like something of his, and so I left watches and um, sunglasses and that sort of thing with them, so they could have something to remember him by. They loved their grandpa a lot. Every time he came into town, I swear they liked him more than they liked me. But those are just some of the ways that I've been coping with his death. Like I said, it hit hard for a lot of us. You know, he was close to a lot of his nieces and nephews. You know, he was close to a lot of his little cousins and his other cousins. Um, you know, and everybody's gonna miss him. His grandkids, we're all gonna miss him. We're gonna miss him dearly. But that's neither here nor there. Um, I just thought that I'll update everyone on everything that I've been going through, so that you guys know that I didn't just go right into hiatus without a reason behind it. Um, I just wanted you guys to know that hopefully I can, you know, I plan on by God's grace continuing where I started and putting the videos out there and stuff like that. I already got a few of them on deck that needs to finish getting um edit, edited. I have a video coming out from when we were out at pre-conference doing outreach. I should call it GYC outreach in Phoenix. That was a lovely, lovely time, and then I got some other videos coming out real soon. And so, by God's grace, I could get them out there and just start hitting you with it, because I have a lot of other ideas as well that I want to put out there and challenge people on. Swelling your melon, show you the spiritual things that need to be spiritually discerned. And but yeah, um, If you have not already, please support my channel. Click like, make comments if you want. Um, I guess the algorithm going, so my YouTube channel could grow more. Um, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and share and share. So I'm just hoping that even though this video is something personal to me, that it could be a blessing to others. God has been my strength throughout the whole time. Um, and I praise him so much for the time that I was able to have with my dad, for everything I learned from my dad, for the relationship I was able to build with my dad and things like that. I praise God for that. He's given him 64 years, and to me that's young. I think he died young. You know, I think he died really young. But that's a whole other story. I appreciate everyone that's supporting me. Oh yeah, I want to send a shout out to um, all my family, my Memphis family. You guys really show mad love. I really appreciate y'all. I really, really do. My other family, everybody who came out to the funeral, all you guys, my dad's best friends, um, Uncle Joe. Um, yeah, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody. You know, all my uncles, my cousins, my siblings. Yeah. So, without further ado, that's my video, and like I said before, I hope it blesses you. God bless.
One day you'll make everything new, Jesus. One day you will bind every wound. Before everything shall all pass away, no more tears. One day you'll make sense of it all, Jesus. One day every question resolved, every anxious thought